Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, seriously, you picked the perfect video to land on. Because today we are talking about the anime that has the entire internet losing their minds right now. No, it's not One Piece. No, it's not Tensura. It's a brand new show, a brand new story. And it just delivered what people are already calling the best shonen anime debut of 2026. I'm talking about Demons of the Shadow Realm. Now, if that name doesn't ring a bell yet, let me give you one fact that will make you sit up immediately. This anime is written and illustrated by Hiromu Arakawa, the same person who created Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, that Hiromu Arakawa. And this episode 1? It is dark, it is twisted, it is shocking. And it has a mid-episode reveal that will make you literally stop and rewind just to make sure you saw what you think you saw. Today on this channel, we are breaking down everything that happened in episode 1 of Demons of the Shadow Realm. Scene by scene, twist by twist. No spoilers left behind. If you're already hyped, smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe. Because this is the show we are covering this season, and trust me, you do not want to miss a single episode breakdown. Alright, let's get into it. Before we get into the episode itself, I want to spend just a minute on why this show matters so much to anime fans. Because context here is everything. Hiromu Arakawa is a legend. A genuine, undisputed legend of manga. Her most famous work, Full Metal Alchemist, is widely considered one of the greatest stories ever told in anime and manga. Not just in shonen, not just in anime. One of the greatest stories, period. The themes of brotherhood, sacrifice, the cost of power, it left a mark on an entire generation of fans. After Full Metal Alchemist, she wrote Silver Spoon and The Heroic Legend of Arslan. Both excellent. But fans have been waiting for her to write something with that same epic, dark, mythological energy as FMA. And Demons of the Shadow Realm, known in Japanese as Yomi no Sugai, which means pairs from the underworld, is that story. It started in manga form in late 2021, has sold over 4 million copies, and now Studio Bones Film, the same studio that animated Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, has brought it to life. A 9 out of 10 on my anime list after just one episode. A 4.9 out of 5 on Crunchyroll. The hype is absolutely real. Now, let's talk about what actually happened in episode 1, titled Asa and Yuru. The episode opens beautifully. We are dropped into what looks like a quiet rural village straight out of ancient Japan. Think Sengoku era. Wooden houses, rice fields, simple tools, community life. Everything feels warm, grounded, and peaceful. Our main character is Yuru, a young boy who lives in this village with his sister Asa. We follow Yuru through his daily routine. He's out hunting in the morning, comes back to chat with villagers, checks in on the crops, worries about whether everyone has enough to eat. He's clearly a good-natured, thoughtful kid who genuinely cares about the people around him. And Asa, his sister, is sweet and close to him. She's warm, gentle, and the two of them share a really tender sibling bond. You immediately feel safe with them. You're smiling at their interactions. The village itself feels cut off from the outside world, almost like a self-contained paradise. There's a sense that something is keeping it isolated, but the episode lets you settle in and enjoy the peace before pulling the rug out. The world building in this first half is patient and deliberate, very Arakawa. She is not rushing to the action. She wants you to love this place. She wants you to feel attached to it. Because what comes next only works if you do. Okay, this is the moment. The moment that stopped the entire anime community in its tracks. Midway through the episode, something in the sky catches Yuru's attention. A distant sound. Something loud and mechanical that the villagers have no name for. They look up and call it a dragon. It's a helicopter. And then reality comes crashing in, literally. A magical barrier that has been surrounding and hiding the village from the outside world suddenly shatters. And what pours in is not ancient soldiers on horses. It's a modern military. Soldiers in tactical gear, guns, helicopters, cell phones. And they start killing. This is the M. Night Shyamalan The Village moment. The episode has been set in the present day the entire time. The village wasn't in ancient Japan. It was a hidden, sealed-off community in the modern world, completely cut off from civilization by a magical barrier. The people inside had no idea. Yuru had no idea. Everything he knew, the dragons, the outside, was just his reality behind the wall. When the barrier drops and the soldiers storm in, the contrast is absolutely dizzying. Beautifully animated traditional village life suddenly flooded with military violence. It's genuinely effective and unsettling in the best way. Yuru doesn't know what guns are. He doesn't understand what's happening. He just knows that people are dying and he needs to get to Asa. As the attack unfolds, a girl named Gabby appears, and she is immediately terrifying. Gabby possesses supernatural powers that she wields without hesitation or mercy. She is clearly not on the side of the villagers, and she is aligned somehow with the attacking forces. But she is also not a straightforward villain. There's something complicated about her, something layered that the episode hints at without explaining yet. This is also where we start getting our first real glimpse of the demons, the supernatural creatures that certain humans in this world can control. Demons always come in pairs, and they are powerful, elemental, and deeply tied to the person commanding them. The concept is elegant. Think of it like a symbiotic battle partner, but with lore and rules that are clearly going to be very carefully built out over the season. You can feel Arakawa's signature magic system craftsmanship here. Every detail feels purposeful and part of a larger architecture. Yuru, meanwhile, is still running through chaos trying to reach his sister. And when he finally finds her, that's when the second gut punch of the episode lands. The person Yuru finds, the girl he has known as his sister Asa his entire life, is not the real Asa. Let that land for a second. The Asa who was living in the village with Yuru, the sweet girl he shared meals with and worried about, she is revealed to be someone else, an imposter, or perhaps a guardian. The episode is deliberately ambiguous about her exact nature, but what's clear is that Yuru's real sister, the true Asa, has been somewhere else this entire time, and she is now arriving at the village with the attacking forces. The real Asa shows no warmth, no recognition, no concern for the destruction happening around her. She is cold, powerful, and aligned with the people tearing the village apart. Yuru's horror in this moment is incredibly well acted. He's staring at the face of his sister, the person he loves most, and she is looking through him like he's nothing. And this is where the episode title Asa and Yuru hits different on a rewatch. It's not a warm sibling title. It's a statement about two people who share a destiny but are standing on opposite sides of a battlefield. As everything collapses around him, his village in flames, villagers dead, his sister revealed as a stranger, Yuru reaches his breaking point. And that's when it happens. His demons awaken. Two supernatural creatures, his pair, emerge for the first time, responding to the depth of his emotional state. The episode ends right there, on that awakening moment, with Yuru's demons revealed, and the full scale of what he is and what he's capable of just beginning to come into focus. It's a perfect cliffhanger. The question isn't just, what are these demons? It's, what is Yuru's true identity? What is his destiny? And what does it mean that he and Asa are on opposite sides of this war? So that is Demons of the Shadow Realm Episode 1. And honestly, I don't think I've been this immediately hooked by a first episode in a very long time. The fake-out setup is brilliant, letting you fall in love with the peaceful village before destroying it completely. That is masterful storytelling. The modern world twist is genuinely shocking and changes every assumption you walked in with. The sibling reveal reframes the entire first half in an instant, and Yuru's demon awakening at the end leaves you desperate for episode 2. This is Arakawa doing what she does best, building a world that feels real, then revealing the layers of darkness underneath it. Studio Bones Film delivers animation that feels instantly comfortable and classic, with just enough modern sharpness to make the action hit hard. This is going to be one of the anime of 2026. I am completely certain of that. And that is your full breakdown of Demons of the Shadow Realm, Episode 1. A peaceful village, a shattering barrier, a modern military attack, a sister who isn't a sister, and a boy who just woke up something incredible. This show. I need to know what you think in the comments right now. Did the mid-episode twist get you? Were you expecting the modern world reveal? And what do you think the real Asa's deal is? Is she a villain? Or is there something deeper going on? Drop your theories below. Let's figure this out together before episode 2 hits. If this video helped you and you want to be here every week for the full Demons breakdown, subscribe and hit the bell. We are not missing a single episode of this one. A like takes 2 seconds and helps this channel more than you know. It means everything. See you in the next one. Until then, watch your shadows.